In the morning of an ordinary train ride, one of the passengers suddenly bursts into flames. Everyone on the platform runs in the opposite direction to the incoming train, except for Shinra, who stands there with a smile on his face. He is greeted by a fire monster, so he prepares to engage in battle, but the fire force arrive and quickly dispose of the monster in a spectacular manner whilst one of their members makes a prayer. Due to the flames, a light fixture from above breaks, but before it falls on one of the fire members, Shinra activates his powers and dashes to save her whilst wearing a creepy smile. He introduces himself to the team as their third-generation fire soldier. Shinra is taken to their station, where he officially meets the captain Akitaru and the second-in-command Hinoa. The captain finds out that his new recruit smiles uncontrollably whenever he is in a tense situation. We also learn he joined the fire force to become a hero, although he is regarded as a devil due to an event that took place when he was young. The rest of the team joins them and introduce themselves as Iris the nun and Maki the second-generation fire soldier. Akitaru briefs Shinra on what exactly they encountered in the train station earlier that day. That fire demon is known as an infernal. Within the city, ordinary humans randomly catch fire and lose all sense of self whilst being a danger to the general public. It is the duty of the special fire force to put an end to the infernals by striking their core, which happens to be their heart. Later that night, Shinra finds it difficult to sleep and begins to recollect his past. In a field with his mother and younger brother, he tells his mom that when he grows up, he's going to be a superhero. However, later on, his house was completely burned down, which caused the death of his mother and brother. Everyone blamed him for the incident, including his grandmother, who refused to take him in. Because of his uncontrollable smile in tense situations, everyone thought he was not remorseful for what he did, so they labeled him the devil. No one knew it was his mother who actually combusted and caused the blaze. Shinra distinctly remembers another entity within the house when all this took place. The fire alarm rings loud and brings him out of his recollection. The team gear up and make their way to dispose of a human who just turned inferno in their armored vehicle code-named Matchbox. After arriving and making their way inside the building, Shinra is overwhelmed by the fire and had a PTSD moment where he temporarily has visions of what happened that fateful day. His hesitance presents an opening for the infernal to strike him, knocking him out. He is brought back by the voice of his comrades and uses the promise he made to his mother as motivation to propel himself forward and take the monster out whilst dodging its attack. The team stand in prayer, watching the infernal slowly disintegrate into ash. Outside the building, the infernal's husband is told his wife was taken out quickly and swiftly without any pain. I'm calling cap on this one. We all know Shinra the mofo took her out without mercy. The man shows gratitude by holding Shinra's hand while sobbing. The crowd behind applaud the Fire Force heroes for their good work. At the station, Akitaru informs Shinra of the upcoming Rookie Fire Soldier Games he will be taking part in alongside their new recruit. It is an event where the new members across all the Fire Force companies come together to show off their skills. As Shinra makes his way back to his room, he comes across Arthur, who is the new addition. Shinra recognizes him from the academy, so they begin fighting to settle an unresolved matter in the past. Their fight interrupts Maki and Iris's picnic on the roof, so the new recruit introduces himself to the ladies as the Night King Arthur. Hinoa joins them to conduct a training session by telling Maki to take on both Shinra and Arthur at the same time. Iris expresses her worry, thinking this might be too much for her, since she is a second-generation pyrokinetic who can only control flames, unlike her third-generation pyrokinetic teammates Shinra and Arthur, who are able to create fire at will. However, Hinoa informs Iris that she was once in the military, so taking on the two boys wouldn't be much of a challenge for her. And sure enough, he is right. She starts off by knocking Shinra off the roof after extinguishing his fire, and then lands a knee to Arthur's face when she finds out she is unable to turn off his plasma blade. The boys manage to recover, but they annoy Maki after calling her an ogre, so in her rage, she succeeds in controlling their flames. Realizing that they have been outmatched, the new recruits yield to Maki and take the L. Later on, the two commanders show Shinra and Arthur the type of weapons used in combat. Since Akitaru doesn't possess any powers, he relies on armor and heavy weaponry to protect himself from the fire monsters. When an alert goes off, the team rush to the location. On their way, Akitaru warns them all to keep their weapons hidden inside their coats to hide it away from civilians. Upon arrival, they are briefed that a little girl's father just turned inferno 2 years after her mother turned into an infernal. Just as they prepare to go inside, Arthur and Shinra reveal their weapon right in front of the girl, so the captain calls them to the side. He tells them that showing the weapons in front of the next of kin is inconsiderate since the Fire Force are called in to destroy Infernals who were once a family member, and seeing the weapons only adds to the grief. The team enter the building to see their target just sitting there unresponsive. This is especially unusual as Infernals normally cause mayhem and destruction. Arthur volunteers to put him to rest whilst the team gather for the prayer. All of a sudden, the building begins to cave in and we see a mysterious guy who was looming around the area holding the same dust that was visible before the building exploded. Before escaping, Akitaru rescued a picture and gave it to the crying girl along with some words of encouragement as a way of consoling her. Shinra is heavily affected by what he saw, so finds it difficult to sleep that night. He makes a vow to bring an end to spontaneous human combustion as soon as possible. Elsewhere, the man from the fire incident meets with his subordinate to give feedback on the substance made for him. Victor informs Joker that he did some digging up on Company 8. He found out that Akitaru was once stripped off a few medals he earned back in his firefighting days after going against orders by putting human life first. At the Rookie Fire Games, Shinra is introduced to the Fire Defense Agency's mascots whilst Victor, who looks like some bootleg Dennis the Menace, observes from afar. As Shinra and Arthur wait for the event to begin, he pans around and notices a badge he has seen before. This is the same man who came to his aid 12 years ago when the incident happened at his home. Shinra approaches Burns to ask some questions regarding it, but he dismisses him saying he has no time for questions. He reaches his hand to follow him, but his path is blocked by a rookie from Company 1 named Tamaki. From the way Burns dismissed him, Shinra suspects that he is hiding something. An announcement is made to all rookies explaining their objective in this year's Rookie Games. They all race forward to overcome the obstacles and reach the finish line. However, Shinra has the advantage and flies his way to the top. He strolls inside and makes it to a room where Joker awaits to have a conversation with him. He informs Shinra that he has information on what happened to his family 12 years ago, but he will only reveal the information if Shinra is able to entertain him first. The two begin to fight after Joker threatened to kill two crewmen who were volunteers in the Rookie Games. Joker proves too much for Shinra and goes to finish him off, but he decides against it after recognizing Shinra's toughness. Joker rewards him by revealing some information. First, he discloses that Shinra's brother did not die in the fire and is much rather still alive. He also says that the people within the fire organization are hiding things. This brings Burns to Shinra's mind. Joker tells him if he wants to know the entire truth, then he should leave being a hero in the Fire Force and join him in being a devil. Shinra is enraged by his proposal, so he increases his powers, landing several blows to Joker. All the while, the sound from their fighting alerts the attention of Arthur and Tamaki to their location. They both begin to fight Joker, but he escapes after spending more time than anticipated. Before departing, he tells Shinra that whenever he wants to know the truth, he should come work with him. Joker releases the remaining ash with the aim of blowing up the building. Shinra with his teammates save the knocked out firefighters and they all make an escape through the roof. The captain of Company 1 comes to thank Shinra for saving his subordinate. Later that night, Shinra relays everything that happened inside the building to his captain. Akitaru comes clean and informs Shinra about the true nature of the Fire Force Agency. It was formed by three entities: the Holy Soul Temple, the Tokyo Armed Forces, and the Fire Defense Agency. However, each Fire Force company see the other as rivals, so whatever information they have, it is not shared with the other companies. Akitaru believes at least one of the companies have found the cause of spontaneous human combustion, and his duty as captain of Company 8 is to investigate companies 1 to 7 in order to find out the truth. Whilst listening to the news with his captain, Hinawa comes in with the results of the analysis done on the substance Joker used to blow up the facility, and the main component used is infernal ashes. Sometime later, Shinra and the rest are busy with some paperwork when they receive a phone call to go and rescue a dog that is stuck on a tree. Shinra and Arthur are assigned the task of rescue while Maki decides to do paperwork on her own. They arrive at the scene to see that one of their mascot was thrown into the tree by some college kids. A few locals resent the Fire Force soldiers because one of the firefighters some time back killed 4 people without reason. It so happens to be the day of his trial, and Miyamoto has been found not guilty to everyone's surprise. He suddenly catches fire and turns into an infernal. However, his situation is a bit different since he still has all his senses. Team 8 are notified of his location, so Shinra and Arthur catch up to the matchbox. They are told to go ahead and deal with the infernal. They arrive and give him a good beating before he takes off in the opposite direction. With Shinra being the only one fast enough to catch up to him, he follows ahead. Miyamoto arrives in the middle of the streets to begin his annihilation, but Shinra shows up. Miyamoto greatly underestimated him only to be proven wrong when Shinra showcases his power. He gives up and begs for mercy, saying he would like for a nun to read the prayer before he is turned to dust, so Shinra grants him the wish. He however betrays the trust and goes in for the kill, but then gets his hand taken off with a kick. But before he can put an end to the monster, the captain from Company 5 intervenes and tries to take Miyamoto away for experimentation. Shinra expresses his disapproval since his team are already on the case. Princess Hibana releases her powers and somehow subdues Shinra. Her subordinates come to hold him down, and it looks as though whatever Hibana did has resulted in temporarily stripping him off his powers, but after seeing a kid being knocked down by one of the firefighters, he becomes angry, rising to his feet. When the captain for Company 8 arrives, he tells Hibana to hand over the Infernal since she is in their jurisdiction. But she retorts, saying it is much better to experiment on the monster since his case is a rare one with him being lucid, and that the experiment may lead to solving the mystery of human combustion. Akitaru agrees to let them have it, with the only condition being they should share the results of the findings with Company 8, bringing the episode to an end. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more.